Hi everyone. This is my third attempt at making my second video because I was trying it outside and the camera shut off twice because of how hot it was. And what I didn't realize is where I had my camera set up, the sun was actually on the camera, but I didn't realize. So, my bad. Sorry. So, here we go again. So, hello, this is Sherry from Desert Rest NV, and this is my second video. And I was hoping to do it outside in the garden, but it's not going to happen. Probably have to do it. Well, I have to do it later in the afternoon if I want to um, do the videos outside. But so, what I thought I'd talk about today is how I found my property. I Desert Rest is property that I purchased out in Nevada. It's off grid. There's nothing on it but a hole in the ground for the well, and the well doesn't even have a pump in it yet. So that's part of what I'm going to have to do with the property. And um, so basically, what it is I decided about 10 years ago that if I was going to be single as I go into my retirement, that I was going to, if I wanted to live comfortably, I probably couldn't do it in California because of how expensive it is here. And I'm born and bred California. I'm a Southern California girl. I was a Malibu surfer chick at the time. And so California, oh, I got it. And so California and is in my blood. And so leaving California was a really tough decision because I love the beach. I was hoping in my retirement I'd end up near the beach, but that's not the way life and things turned out. So here I am. I am now living in Northern California, and about 10 years ago, I decided I need to start planning for my retirement because at the time I was about 10 years out and figuring out what I was going to do so that I wouldn't be living under a bridge eating cat food somewhere. And so what I did was I started looking around online for different alternatives to buying cheap housing, cheap properties, cheap, or I probably shouldn't say cheap, inexpensive or affordable, okay? And um, then I remembered that I had worked for a gentleman who was buying property in northern Nevada, and his payments were very inexpensive because what I did for him is I took care of his business affairs and I was paying all of his bills. So I remembered this, and so I thought, oh, well, maybe I can buy some, find some property like that. So I started Googling cheap land for sale by owner, and things were coming up like land for sale $500 down. So I was looking at those, looking at different states. I kept looking around the beach areas, and a lot of them I loved. I visited Florida, loved that area north of Tampa along the coast, you know, there. And then I started thinking that is so far away from where I am right now that I wouldn't be able to work on it and get it ready for me to move in, or to move there until I was actually ready to leave California. Or else I'd have to fly to Florida, and I don't fly. Nope, nope. I will take a train, I will take a boat, but I will not fly. So getting there quickly to go on weekends, to even check out properties was not going, to be super feasible without spending a whole lot of money. And then somebody was telling me about the Christi areas of Texas, which is near the beach, is very inexpensive land. And it does, if you don't mind. And now it's getting worse and worse with all the illegal immigration, and I'm going to say it, illegal immigration problems that are going on. And I don't want to argue all those points. There's good and there's bad, and I understand it all. But I didn't want to put myself in a position where I had property where I might have problems with that. So then I started looking at Northern California, and property values were just way skyrocket. I was looking at Oregon coast, which is beautiful and I love it. But again, property values were way out of my reach. So then I remembered again this guy, who my friend had bought his land from. So I contacted him and I asked him, I said, hey, I'm looking around for land. Do you still have some? And he said, I sure do. And so we started talking, and his is all for sale by owner, $500 down, and depending on how much land you purchased, the monthly payments were very inexpensive. And so he says, but I won't sell from you. I won't sell to you unless you come out and check out the property yourself, which made sense to me. And I really, thanked him for that. And he kind of remembered me back when I worked for the other gentleman. And I'd asked, was his property still available? And he said, no, it's not. But I have some others, come out and take a look at what I have and see how, see what you think. So I started thinking more and more about it and how it is close enough to where I live here in Northern California that on the weekends I can drive out there, set up a tent, camp out on the property, do work on the property, do things like that. It would be convenient for me to be able to do that and then come back home and go to work and come back out on the weekends, and it wouldn't cost that much in gas, excuse me, to do that. I'm going to have, hey, Tony and Leanne, does this cup look familiar? I won it from Tony and Leanne, who are, excuse me, who are doing redneck things off grid on YouTube. So I still have your cup. So, so I talked to my kids. I talked to several other people. I had people telling me, "You're out of your mind. What are you thinking?" All kinds of different things. And the more I thought about it, the more I researched, the more I realized that this is something that I could actually do. Yes, I would need help in some areas, but I could actually buy off grid property, live comfortably off grid with hardly any bills, and be sustainable, and then also grow my own vegetables, grow a couple of cash crops. I make jewelry and do stuff on the side and sell stuff on eBay. I can continue doing that, making my little extra money. And there's enough people out there as I was doing my research to um, to see that this is something that was feasible. So in my research, um, or in your own research, if you are thinking about buying property and doing what I'm doing, first off, I'm gonna, kind of toot my own horn. If you're interested and don't mind desert living, and you're interested in northern Nevada, contact me at Desert Rest NV. That's N as in Nancy, V as in Victor for Nevada at gmail.com. So it's DesertRestNV at gmail.com. And send me an email and say you're interested in buying property in the same area that I am. And I will get you in contact with my person that I'm buying my property from. I should also tell you that my property taxes, now hold your hats, my property taxes for last year was $79.33 for the year. Yes, believe it or not. So, and I'm fully aware that once I get out to the property and I start improving it, that will probably go up. But property taxes in Nevada are very low right now because the gaming is their big thing. So property taxes of $79 a year, down payment of $500, and monthly payments of $300 got me 11 acres of off-grid property with a well already drilled. Now, unfortunately, the person, how I got this piece of property is the person who had it ran into problems, and it wasn't because of the shutdown. We're not supposed to say the big C word on YouTube, but they have run into problems and had to give up the property, and they had already drilled the well. They just hadn't got to the point where they put the well pump in yet. So my property costs a little bit more than property that did not or does not have a well on it, but I saved that money. I don't have to drill my own well. So if you're interested in buying property out near me, and it's very inexpensive, you don't mind being off grid, I'm 12 miles from the nearest town, and it's a big town. It's not a teeny little, you know, town. It's a big town. There's grocery stores and a hospital and doctors, dentists, and they have big fairs and festivals every year. They it's a big stopping place as you go through Nevada, and it's probably not the one you're thinking about, but it is a big stopping place. And if you're going through Nevada up toward Idaho, that's where you turn toward Idaho. You can get to Oregon really quickly. It's not too far from Utah. And if you go the other way, it's not that far from California. So I'm basically right in the middle. And I'm far enough away from town where I don't have light pollution from town. So the stars are just spectacular. When the moon is out, you don't have to have a flashlight to walk around at night. I mean, it's amazing. And it is so quiet out there. It's just, when I think about it, it's just, I want to go there and camp. Also, what was the other thing? Oh, 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 I forgot. Sitting there on the property. Oh, I do have neighbors out there. Now, I do have one kind of right next door to me, and then others that are far enough away that their houses look about that big. But if something happens, get out there and shoot a flare in the air, or get a whistle and blow a whistle 3 times, which is the international signal for SOS, and somebody will come out and see how you're doing. Now, there's not a lot. Internet connection is tough. Cellular connection is tough, but Elon Musk's Starlink is a solution to that. And so there's an additional bill that I will have. So that'll cost me probably about $150 a month to have internet. And just recently, he's starting to figure out um, cellular service, adding cellular service to that. Although, if I walk down to the bottom of my property, I can get some cellular service there. If I go up to the top, I can't. So we're in like a big bowl area. There's television out there because a lot of it comes from satellite, so I get satellite television as well. So it's not like I can't have the amenities of um, where I'm living right now, which is in a major town in California. So, how else can you find property besides sending me an email at DesertRestNV@gmail.com? Um, Google land for sale by owner, or Google property for sale by owner. You can also put in land for sale, $500 down. And if you put in that one, there are many, many places that the down payment is less than $500, $200, $300 down, and your payments will still be between 250. I mean, depending on how big the property is, your payments can start at $250 a month. Now, at the time, I was even signed up with a website called www.landwatch.com. And Landwatch has pieces of property that's for sale by owner, or the buyers would go to this guy and say, sell my property for me. And he put it on there. The payments were very low because the seller would go ahead and carry the loan for you. And the down payments were very low. The monthly payments were very low. and there was properties all over the place on Land Watch. Um, Also, besides Land Watch, go to YouTube and search YouTube and search for property sale by owner, properties for sale by owner, or land for sale by owner on YouTube. And there are people who do walk around on their properties and say, I have this property for sale, contact me. So there's a place I was looking. I was also looking at, I had signed up for a website called westernlandforsale.com. Now that one I don't remember getting a lot of response from, but it's out west because I was kind of looking out west. So there's some resources for you. Um, I would love it if one of my subscribers would be interested in coming out, living in the same area that I was, and then we could collaborate and, you know, get be friends and watch what we're doing together. Um, so I don't know what else to say right now. Let's see, we're into 21 minutes. And so I want to keep these about 25 minutes or less going. Oh, there's Bitty. She's coming up. But so that was my journey. It took me from the point that I started looking. It took me 2 years. I think it was about 2 years. Because I was thinking, I was researching, I was looking at the same time as when I started looking at off grid, because I was finding that properties with utilities on it were going to cost a lot more. Even if I went like back to Appalachia, Northern Carolina, Southern Carolina, Florida, those kind of places, it was going to cost me a lot more. And if I was going to do that, I might as well stay in California and duke it out with our wonderful Governor Newsom and all of his wonderful ideas. Okay, we won't talk about that. But I will leave you with this. If you found your property and you're getting ready to pull the trigger, okay, sign a contract. There's a lot of sellers out there who will not sign a contract with you because they consider it a month to month basis. Don't do that. That is leaving you open to, at any point, if this person decides, I need an extra $500 in a few months, I'm going to pull my property and put it back up for sale. Or, whatever, they get a bee in their bonnet and just decide they want the property back, they can pull your contract. Or they can pull your month to month because you have no agreements. Even if they seem to be the nicest person in the whole world. Do not. This is business. And this is something that I've learned regretfully, not through a land deal, but through another deal I made. Don't, get a contract. Get a contract. You can negotiate your contract. Now, I negotiated mine because it had the well on it. I went out there and looked at it. There's a round hole in the ground was about that big, with a cap on it. And he said, and he says, "This is your well." And there was a well report that you can pull with the county, and when they put it in and all of that, but that was something that I was going to have to do. And so I was thinking, well, wait a minute, I am paying a substantial amount more for this property, and I don't know for sure if this well even has water in it right now. Now, so I asked him, can we put in the contract that I have a certain amount of time to check out this well? And if it turns out that this well is not providing, then I want that extra money, subtracted, because I'm going to have to put that money out to um, drill a well to have water, potentially. Or I'd have to start trucking water in, or however it is I was going to get water. That was going to change everything. Oh, here comes Itty Bitty Kitty. But, and so he said, sure, that's fine. So we added that to the contract. There was a couple of other things, and I haven't looked at my contract in forever, so I don't remember them. Don't get near the camera, Bitty. And so I don't remember what it was, but he was willing to work with me. We signed the contract. I sent him a check, and boom, I became a land baron. That's what my mom said at the time. You're a land baron now. So, so I started making payments on the property, and it was just a few months after that I bought my fifth wheel here, and the plan is to take the fifth wheel to the property when I go, but we'll talk about that later because that has changed. It's still kind of in the concept, but so we are now past 25 minutes. And so I'd like to invite you to visit www.DesertRestNV.com. And it is a website that I started, and I have a blog there. And I just posted blog number 10. And this is my second video at YouTube, which is www.youtube.com/at DesertRestNV. And please like and subscribe to the video, and share it with, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you share it, it helps me get out there, because eventually I am going to continue this and to help out other people who are doing the same thing as me. It's just me, a lady in the desert, and building buildings and planting gardens and putting in a well pump and solar panels and wind turbines and all kinds of exciting stuff that chickens and ducks. I love ducks. They're so funny. Chickens for eggs and meat. And I'm thinking about goats too, because I love goat cheese. Love goat cheese. And I make my own goat cheese. I have a few goats. I have goats for meat as well. And all kinds of stuff like that's going to be going on. And I thank you for coming by sincerely. I thank GBear at GBear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert, for the boot and the pants and the shout out to get me started doing this. It's his fault. So please visit him and like and subscribe to his channel as well. He is one of my big inspirations, as well as Ariel at Fynith, Fynmyth, on YouTube. She is also one of my big inspirations. And I'll be back in a couple more days, and we will talk more about how I began this journey and what I'm doing, and maybe we can sit out in the garden by then. I hope so. And I guess that's it. Can you tell how nervous I am? My hands are actually shaking, so I'm hanging on to this cup so I don't knock over the camera. But thank you so much for coming by, my friends. Please do subscribe. I think I have 7 whole subscribers now, and that's exciting to me. We'll keep going, and um, we'll have fun doing this. Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.